Breaking news, a new head coach in the NFL. Seahawks expected to hire Ravens defensive coordinator Mike MacDonald, according to multiple reports.
The breaking news of the day, Seahawks replaced legend Pete Carroll with Mike MacDonald. Why did it happen? I know you broke that news.
From the oldest coach in the league to the youngest, 36 years old from 72. Why Mike MacDonald? This dude's a genius. He had 4 All-Pros this year. Matabuke, Queen, Smith, Hamilton. He took Geno Stone 7 interceptions this year, dog.
The day I found out that Mike MacDonald would be the next head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, I knew everything would change, from the players to the atmosphere to the aura around the locker room. And the main thing that was going to change was the defense. Last season, the defense was not there. However, Mike MacDonald is the smartest, youngest head coach in the league. He knows what he's doing, he knows what he's talking about, and he will put his guys in position to be the best possible players they can be. And right away, I look at this team, the moves that they've made, I can already see the blueprint for what Mike MacDonald wants to bring here to Seattle. So in this video, we're going to break down everything that they have done so far, right? But also, we're going to explain why and how Mike MacDonald is about to turn Seattle upside down and make them a contender once again. However, before we jump in, hit the like button if you want more Seahawks videos throughout the rest of the offseason. But with that being said, let's jump right back in. Okay, the first thing I want to look at here is Baltimore's defense, okay? Now, for you who aren't, in tune with what happened last season, Mike MacDonald was the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, who did have a lot of all-pro players like we saw. But here we go. Let's look at some stats. Number 1, they were the best defense in the NFL in terms of points per game. Number 4, the 4th best defense in yards per game. Number 1, the best defense on 4th down. The best defense in terms of touchdowns allowed per game. The 2nd best defense in terms of red zone scoring, right? And then we go down to the passing rankings. The best defense in terms of yards allowed per pass. Number 7 in yards or completion percentage. Number 7 in sack percentage. Number 6 in total pass yards per game. Number 1 in rushing touch. This team under Mike MacDonald was breaking. They were insane. Okay, now, when we go to Seattle, they were not good, okay? Number 24 in points allowed per game. I mean, we'll look at this more in depth in a second when we talk about what moves they've made, but we knew right away changes needed to be made for this defense. And quite frankly, looking at the roster, looking at what they've done, adding some O-line depth here, tight end, a backup quarterback, we knew right away they were going to focus on the defense. The defense was really, really bad, and this is beautiful. What we've seen so far is amazing, right? And quite frankly, it doesn't look amazing. Tyrel, Dodson, Jerome Baker, Rayshawn, Jenkins. I'm going to break down each one of these players, and I'm going to tell you why Mike MacDonald is going to turn this defense into one of the best in the NFL next season. Let's jump right into that.
What up, y'all? Jerome Baker here. Man, finally did it. Happy to be a Seahawk. Let's lock in. Let's do it.
Now, with that being said, one of the biggest moves they've made actually happened yesterday as I'm recording this video. Jerome Baker, the former Miami Dolphin linebacker, is on his way to the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, they've lost some depth with Jordan Brooks, Devin Bush, and also with Bobby Wagner. Jerome Baker is the perfect fit for the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, when we break down his stats in just a second, we're going to understand, we're going to realize this man can do everything you want a linebacker to do. Let's look at it. Now guys, before we deep dive into the rest of the video, make sure you guys do me a big favor, hit that like button just so we can get this video out to more Seahawks fans around the world. If we do get this video up to 400 likes, we'll be dropping a part 2 of this video for you guys, as well as subscribe if you're new. It's free, doesn't cost anything to subscribe. With that being said, let's jump right into the rest of the video. Now, here we go. The number one thing we'll look at here with Jerome Baker, and the one thing you'll notice is he has been very close to 100 tackles ever since his rookie season, right? Last season, missing 4 games, but quite frankly, if he would have been completely healthy, he would have hit that 100 mark, right? So he's a very short tackler, but also, look at this, his sack number, 22.5 sacks as a middle linebacker. I mean, the man is one of the best blitzing linebackers in the NFL, right? A 5.5 sack season, a 7 sack season, 4 now is coming off a down year with 1.5. But again, only played 13 games. But also, let's look at this. He's also has 5 interceptions as well. So not only is he a short tackler, not only can he sack the quarterback and get to the quarterback on designed blitzes, especially a double mug blitz, which we saw a lot with the Ravens last season. I think Mike MacDonald is going to really utilize Jerome Baker's pass rushing ability next season. But he can also drop back into zone coverage. He can also force fumbles, 6 forced fumbles in 6 seasons. I mean, this dude is unreal, okay? And then you look at 21 run stuffs, right? Quite frankly, not bad at stopping the run. 21 pass deflections. This guy is a different breed of linebacker. And like we said, Mike MacDonald just got Roquan Smith to an all-pro season. Mike MacDonald just got Patrick Queen to an all-pro season. Imagine what he's going to do with a guy like Jerome Baker, who is now front and center, the team's starting middle linebacker. Last season, if we take a look here at the right side of your screen, Seattle's defense in terms of stopping the run, okay? 27th in yards allowed per rush, 31, almost dead last in rush yards allowed per game, and 30 in touchdowns allowed per game on the ground. This team was horrible. This team could not stop a ladybug from getting into the end zone. They needed a big change. Jerome Baker immediately is someone who can come in and make a difference, right? And I'm not even worried about anyone else, right? Leonard Williams, brought him back. I think he's going to be a stud with an extra year under his belt here in Seattle. Jerron Reed, I like as well. Draymond Jones, I thought was a big pickup a couple years ago from Denver. Boye Mafe, I think he has some intense potential. And then we talk about Derek Hall, who I really like out of Auburn, the second round pick of last season. Darrell Taylor. There's some really good guys here. I'm not worried about that. I was worried about the linebacker situation. So not only do you go and pick up Jerome Baker, but then Terrell Dodson. Let's talk about him. Terrell Dodson, who you'll see right here in the middle, linebacker, right? This dude is a different breed as well. Coming off a career best season in terms of tackles for a loss, recording 8 of them, having 2 pass breakups and 2.5 sacks. So again, you talk about versatility, right? We saw Jerome Baker's a guy who can, tackle, he can drop back in his zone, he can get to the quarterback, create some pressure on him. Terrell Dodson is very similar. You can tell right away, and you can see the blueprint that he is trying to create a linebacker core of guys who can get to the quarterback, but as well stop the run. Terrell Dodson is the perfect example of a young, developing guy who is slowly improving here in the NFL and will be one of, the go-to guys here for this defense, right? This is going to be massive. And I am so excited to see what he can do here under Mike MacDonald. As we see here, a little bit of zone coverage for him. So you're going to see him right here playing this little stick route. Trevor Lawrence gets it in, diving play, right? The guy is not afraid to use his body to make plays. That's something you want out of a linebacker. Another thing you want to see out of an NFL player, right? Does he want to win football games? Does he care about football? Or does he just want money? No. Terrell Dodson is a guy who wants to win football games. He's not doing it for the money. He's here to get better. He's here to make himself one of the best in the NFL. And quite frankly, he did that last season. He is coming off a great season, only 25 years old as well, right? You're going to watch him here. Cover up the screen to a T, right? You got 3 linemen coming right at you, reads it perfectly, and makes a great tackle on Jamar Chase. Guys, I'm telling you, this guy right here, Terrell Dodson, is also going to be a massive upgrade at middle linebacker, or inside linebacker, I should say, because they do run a 3-4. But unbelievable pickup here, young, developing, and again, we talked about how bad that run defense was last year. This is a guy who, like I said, 8 tackles for a loss last season. This is a guy who will immediately impact. Do you see how he reads defenses? Do you see how quickly, before Joe Burrow even tosses his football out, he's booking it to the right side of this formation because he knows it's a run. Boom. Gets right by the wide receiver trying to block, and then gets in there and makes a play on the ball handler. This guy is going to be huge. And then we talk about a guy like Rayshawn Jenkins, who they also signed at a free agency. And the first thing you got to say is, they let go of Jamal Adams. That just didn't work out. They got rid of Quandre Diggs as well. They needed to bring in some sort of safety help alongside Julian Love, who they signed last offseason. Rayshawn Jenkins is a guy who started off his career in LA with the Chargers. quite frankly, I don't know why, but they ended up releasing him or just letting him walk in free agency after the 2020 season when he started to break out. And then from there, he's been an absolute wrecking ball, tackling or rallying up over 100 tackles in the last 2 seasons and just being an enormous threat for the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is where he signed. But now you bring him into the system, like we just said. Did we see what Kyle Hamilton just did Kyle Hamilton and Geno Stone? Their 2 safeties and their 2 linebackers were both all pro. So right away you add 3 guys to your system, 3 new guys to your DB or to your defense, right? 2 linebackers, okay? Compare those guys to the Pat Queen and the Roquan Smiths, okay? Think about those guys coming in, and now you talk about a safety coming in. Mike MacDonald is building his dream team. Rayshawn Jenkins, let's look at his stats real quick. Now, the first thing you'll notice here is the interceptions. He has 10 interceptions pretty much over a 5-year span here. His first 2 seasons didn't really play too much outside of special teams, and now you come into this situation where you have 10 interceptions in 5 seasons, including 1 season where he did miss 3 games right there. But at the same time, this is a guy that can make plays. This is a guy that can be a short tackler. He's a guy who you can trust in the run stuffing game as well. You can bring him up. 11 run stuffs in 2022, right? 9 pass deflections, 12 pass deflections. Can do both. Now are we starting to see what Mike MacDonald is trying to do? Versatility, different dynamic, and a bunch of possibilities in terms of where lining these guys up. And again, you go back to their defense, right? They had a big hole. Right, you could start Kobe Bryant, right, and I think the depth here is really, really nice, right? You got Michael Jackson, you got Rayshawn Jenkins, Julian Love, Tariq Woolen, Devon Witherspoon, who they think is going to be a stud alongside Woolen, right? And then you got Artie Burns, who they just brought back. They got Jarek Reed, they got Kobe Bryant, they got Trey Brown, the former 4th-round pick. I think this defense is going to take a major jump up next season, right? Last season, ranking number 21 in interception percentage. Well, Rayshawn Jenkins is a guy who can intercept the ball, make plays on the ball. I think he's going to be really fun to watch, alongside number 26 in completion percentage, number 22 in pass yards allowed per game. Rayshawn Jenkins, with the healthiness of, Tariq Woolen, Devon Witherspoon, if they can stay healthy, I think this is one of the better secondaries in the NFL. Right, but also Rayshawn Jenkins helps own this area as well. 4.6 yards per rush. We need to get that down. That's got to be around 4. That's got to be around 4, 3.8 to 4, right? That's what Rayshawn Jenkins is here to do. Come up, play some run support, as well as drop back into, his zone coverage. I think this is huge. Also has 3.5 sacks over the last 4 seasons as well. 3 forced fumbles in 2022. A guy who, as well as Jerome Baker and Terrel Dodson, can do everything you want him to do defensively. This team is going to be versatile. They're going to be hungry, and they're going to want to win football games. I guarantee you, next season, we will see 1, 2, maybe even 3 of these players on defense become Pro Bowlers. But not only Pro Bowlers, maybe even All-Pro. Right, if I had to predict, I'm going to say Tariq Woolen next season, All-Pro, if he stays healthy. I'm going to say Jerome Baker, Pro Bowl. I'm going to say Leonard Williams, Pro Bowl. I'm going to say, and that might be it. Maybe a Devon Witherspoon gets a Pro Bowl opportunity as well. But I like what they're doing. I think a lot of these guys are going to love being here because Mike MacDonald is going to put them in the perfect situation. That is what he does. With that being said, there's still a lot of work to do, right? If you guys want me to make a part 2 and kind of discuss the offensive additions with Nick Harris and George Fant and Tyrel Brown, I actually think this one is very underrated. I really like this signing right here. Sam Howell. If you guys want me to break down more offensive things that they've done, they obviously got to plug this left guard. I think Nick Harris is probably going to be, fit into there right now if they didn't sign anyone else. But more depth needs to be signed in, not only at the line, but at quarterback, at wide receiver. Definitely need to bring in some more talent, as well as the defense, right? You need to bring in some more safety help, some more linebacker help as well. But you can do that in the NFL draft. But if you guys want to see a part 2 of the offense, hit the, or comment down below the number, let's just say 4. As well as subscribe, hit the like button, join the family. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the part 2 if this video gets up to, we'll say, 300 likes. And I'll see you guys in that one. Peace.